We realize that we need all sorts of housing types in our immediate downtown area, so we just want to try and keep the playing field level between all groups.
Under Iowa City's previous code, a rental permit would be required for a single-family home when it was a family plus one roomer or 3 unrelated people living in the house. Regulation was based on family status, but that is a tool that is no longer available.
Last year, the state legislature removed our ability to regulate occupancy based on familial status.
This was used to regulate density and overcrowding in single-family homes and duplexes. So with the bill removing that option taking effect in 2018, the city began researching other recourse.
So at that time, we had to start looking for a new way to promote healthy neighborhoods and protect the stability of our neighborhoods.
That included the idea of a rental cap, which could be enforced in designated neighborhoods.
We looked at neighborhoods in Iowa City that we consider healthy. Specifically, the Longfellow neighborhood has a good balance of owner-occupied units and rental units.
The city drew up boundaries and with the help of the city council, came to an agreement.
In these existing neighborhoods, the cap is 30%, only 30% of the single-family and duplex dwellings can be rental.
This does not impact apartments or multifamily units, just single-family homes and duplexes. Also, any rental permits in those designated areas will be grandfathered in.
All of the existing rental properties will be allowed to keep their rental permits as long as they stay in good standing with the city.
So when does the cap apply?
It's enforced when an owner-occupied property changes hands and they try to apply for a new rental permit. We will look at the map, verify what the percentage is in the neighborhood. If we're able, we will give them a rental permit. If not, we will explain to them what the situation is.
No more than one tenant is allowed in an owner-occupied property without obtaining a rental permit. Another requirement for new rental units is shared living space. This means bedrooms must not exceed 35% of the finished floor area, ensuring that spaces such as living and dining rooms are not converted into bedrooms. It protects the integrity of these single-family homes. Another new aspect to rental requirements is a good neighbor policy.
There's certain expectations that we have of our residents when they're living in our single-family neighborhoods. So if you're seeing problems at a rental property related to tenants not shoveling the sidewalk or not mowing the grass or there's trash around the property, with multiple complaints, we'll be making contact with the tenants and landlords and explaining to them what the expectations are.
This policy will be used to make sure that all pre-existing codes are followed.
If it happens on a single occasion, you're going to get a letter from the city explaining what the violation was. If it happens multiple times, if it happens 2 times, there will be time for the tenants and the landlord to come in and talk to the city where the expectations will be clearly laid out for the tenants and the landlord.
Failure of the tenants and landlord to stop the infraction from repeating could result in serious ramifications to the rental permit.
Further violations, there will be an expectation that there's a property maintenance program put in place to make sure that those nuisances are mitigated in the future.
If the problem persists, that permit could be revoked. So it's important for both renters and landlords to understand this policy. There will also be some zoning changes, most notably a restriction on paving in backyards. This is to address a growing trend of transforming backyards into parking lots.
The idea is that there needs to be a balance on the property. And yes, parking is a concern, but you also want to have green space and open space where the residents of the property can be outside.
So before adding parking to the rear yard, the homeowner must first submit plans to zoning for approval. With University of Iowa students making up a majority of the renters, the city is aware of the need for affordable housing. The research data showed that the city has cleared way for nearly 3,000 apartment bedrooms that were recently made available or are under construction. This support for additional housing will continue to be a focus for city leaders.
So while there's a cap on single family and duplex rentals, it's not a limit on rental properties, it's just a limit on single family and duplex. There's over 1,000 rental units in multifamily that's coming available in the next year.
The city will carefully monitor and regularly revisit this new ordinance. And by working together, we can continue to maintain diverse housing while protecting the stability of our neighborhoods.